Welcome to the 2025 Western Health Virtual Annual General Meeting. My name is Sandy Skitter and I'm the Executive Director of People, Culture and Communications at Western Health. I am delighted to be your MC at today's AGM. I acknowledge the traditional custodians of all the lands and waterways on which Western Health staff, volunteers, consumers and caregivers come together. As we work, learn and grow, we pay our deep respects to elders and traditional custodians past, present and emerging of the Wurundjeri, Woiwurrung, Boonwurrung, Bunurong and Wadawurrung countries of the Greater Kulin Nation. We are committed to the healing of country, working towards equity and health outcomes and the ongoing journey of reconciliation. Western Health is committed to respectfully listening and learning from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and we are truly guided by the values of relationship, responsibility and respect. I would also like to acknowledge members of the Western Health Board and my executive colleagues who are tuning in remotely to our virtual AGM today. Shortly after our board chair, Professor the Honourable Jill Hennessy will reflect on key activities for the 24-25 financial year. Jill will be followed by our Chief Executive Officer, Professor Russell Harrison, who will look into the year ahead. We also will be welcoming a special guest today, Chef Tim Parker, one of our consumer advisors. And at the end of today's event, we will be awarding this year's Board Chairs Medal. The winner of this prestigious award has been selected from 3 inspirational stories that were screened at our 2025 Inspire Awards earlier this year. We also want to include you in today's event. To any members of the public who have questions about the business of Western Health, you are welcome to post them using the Q&A function of this webinar. Your questions will be monitored during today's presentation and answered as they are posted. And now it's time to profile our first inspirational story, one of 3 finalists for this year's Board Chair Medal. Our first finalist is Dr. Claire Long, Clinical Service Director of our Aged, General Medicine and Subacute Division. Claire is renowned as an inspiring and dedicated leader, widely respected for her advocacy, integrity and unwavering support for both her teams and her patients. She balances numerous priorities with excellence in clinical judgment and risk management, never shying away from difficult situations. As Clinical Service Director, Claire has transformed her department by closely listening to staff, addressing their concerns and implementing improvements. Her commitment to patient safety has led to significant advancements in care, including the high-risk preoperative optimization clinic. Claire's leadership fosters trust, collaboration and optimism, making her a role model for aspiring physicians and ensuring a brighter future for general medicine. Well done, Claire. Congratulations on being a finalist. It's now my pleasure to introduce our board chair, Professor the Honourable Jill Hennessy, to present Western Health's Year in Review.
Thanks, Sandy, and a very warm welcome to all. I too acknowledge the traditional custodians of all the lands and waterways on which Western Health staff, volunteers, consumers and caregivers come together. I would also like to acknowledge my fellow board directors that are joined us here today. Professor Andrew Conway, Adjunct Associate Professor Elizabeth Kennedy, the Honourable Monica Gould, Mr. Ben Davison, Professor Harvey Newman, Dr. Deborah Cole, Dr. Elizabeth Ream and Professor Ian Meredith, who was appointed to our board in July this year. A special thank you and acknowledgement to former board director Professor Anna Peters, who completed her term with us in February, and we thank her for her significant contributions to the governance of Western Health. As board chair, I also welcome members of Parliament, our consumers, partners, community members and Western Health staff and volunteers who are watching this presentation today. I would also like to acknowledge our colleagues and friends at Werribee Mercy Hospital. As of 1 July this year, and as part of broader system reform with the creation of Victoria's 12 local health service networks, Western Health and Werribee Hospital Mercy formed the West Metro Local Health Service. This new network structure has been really welcomed, and it's already deepening existing collaborations and enhancing access to coordinated care across the West. This is my second annual general meeting as Western Health's board chair, and I'm thrilled to have this opportunity to reflect on what has been achieved in the 2024-25 financial year. Today's event gives us a moment to look ahead to what promises to be a particularly exciting year for Western Health. And it also gives our CEO, Russell Harrison, and I the chance to thank our staff, volunteers, patients, consumers, partners, and local community for your ongoing support. The 5 principles that guide all we do here at Western Health are: we partner with patients, consumers, families, and carers. We care for our people. We deliver services for the future. We are better together. We discover and learn. Now, these guiding principles and a clear sense of purpose are essential when we consider the many challenges and the great opportunities that we're facing together. Western Health supports a population of more than 1 million people across Melbourne's rapidly expanding and wonderfully diverse West. Residents here speak more than 150 languages and dialects, and more than 10,000 people identify as Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. That's why our services are growing, and so too is the demand for those services. In 2024-25, Western Health cared for more than 995,000 patients. We performed more than 15,100 planned surgeries and 13,500 emergency surgeries. We had more than 165,000 presentations to our emergency departments and a further 31,000 presentations to our urgent care centres. We delivered more than 365,000 appointments in our specialist clinics. We provided more than 100,000 episodes of care to patients in their homes, delivered by our Western Health at Home division. And we also helped welcome almost 8,000 babies into the world at Joan Kirner Women's and Children's, at Sunshine Hospital and Bacchus Marsh Hospital. That's some pretty impressive statistics, and they just give a sense of the scale of what we do here at Western Health. But numbers, of course, can never tell the full story. Western Health is continuing to grow in every sense. We're not just building more facilities and expanding the scope and reach of our clinical services, we're also striving and innovating to make healthcare safer and to make it more inclusive for all. That stands for our patients and our consumers, as well as our staff and volunteers. Some of our organisation's biggest highlights from 2024-25 illustrate just how far we've come working towards this vitally important goal. We launched our framework designed to ensure that we were inclusive and that we promoted diversity and that we were focused on equity. In terms of building a fairer health system and aiming to enhance support for disadvantaged communities and reduce barriers to health and wellbeing, this milestone was truly transformative. The framework was co-designed with more than 80 contributors, including staff, consumers, families, volunteers, and other key stakeholders. Our focus is simple. We want to make sure Western Health is a culturally safe and inclusive space for everyone. We also have a deep commitment to acknowledging and supporting First Nations people and advancing reconciliation. Our gender, sex and sexuality project team achieved national recognition for their work, winning the 2025 LGBTIQA+ Inclusive Innovation Award at the Health and Wellbeing Awards. We hosted Western Health's LGBTIQA+ Health Symposium in 2024 and 2025, which brought together over 100 consumers, providers, allies, and advocacy groups. And on December 2024, on International Day of People with Disability, we launched the Hidden Sunflower program. This lived experience-led initiative supports individuals with non-visible disabilities by enabling them to discreetly signal their need for extra support using the sunflower symbol. Last year also saw the introduction of some fantastic new initiatives in women's health. I'm so proud that Western Health is playing an important role in the Victorian Government's Women's Health and Wellbeing Program, which is being overseen by the Victorian Women's Health Advisory Council. Our program, Women's Health at Western, is based across two sites, at Melton and Sunshine. In March, our new sexual and reproductive health clinic opened at Melton Community Services, offering a range of services including STI testing, pap smears, contraception and medical abortion care. And just a few weeks later, we opened the Women's Health Clinic at Joan Kirner Women's and Children's at Sunshine Hospital, providing access to specialised care for a range of gynecological issues, from menstrual disorders and pelvic pain to perimenopause, menopause, as well as surgical abortion care. The Women's Health Clinic is improving access to care with highly trained GPs working closely with specialists to ensure women receive the care they need sooner. Many other teams and divisions across Western Health have also had an outstanding year. A major step forward in prevention and harm reduction came with the expansion of our Melton Addiction Clinic, thanks to new Victorian Government funding in early 2025. Originally operating 3 days a week after its April 2024 launch, the clinic is now providing 5-day-a-week access to pharmacotherapy and holistic support for individuals living with opioid addiction. This expansion enhances early intervention efforts, reduces the burden on emergency and acute services, and promotes recovery. Meanwhile, our integrated community health service supports people at every age and stage of life to improve health outcomes, prioritising care for those most in need. Services include allied health, counselling, family violence support, dental and nursing. And we are also very proud to provide family violence support through our partnership with the Orange Door networks of Brimbank and Melton. In the past year, the Pathway to Good Health program supported more than 600 children in and out of home care and completed more than 100 multidisciplinary assessments. Further extending our reach into some of the most marginalised members of our community, our custodial healthcare service achieved full accreditation in early 2025 against the National Safety and Quality Primary and Community Healthcare Standards. In less than 2 years of operation at Dame Phyllis Frost Centre, the service has delivered comprehensive 24/7 care, including nursing, GP, dental, allied health, specialty medicine and culturally safe Aboriginal health services, always with a focus on prevention, safety and consumer dignity. In 2024, Western Health was recognised for its outstanding commitment to timely and responsive care through its leadership in the Timely Emergency Care Collaborative. Trialling 31 innovative initiatives, the services has successfully reduced the time it takes to get patients from our emergency departments to beds in our wards. Our service earned a coveted place in the Department of Health's 3-year Timely Emergency Care 2 program. And we've introduced geriatricians into our emergency departments to better support older patients. As mentioned earlier, our maternity services team have had a bumper year, recording more births across our 2 maternity sites than ever before. Maternity services also advanced in other ways in 2024 with the expansion of the midwifery group practice model to Bacchus Marsh Hospital. In this program, small teams of midwives work in pairs to support women through pregnancy, labour, birth and the early parenting period. It means women get to know the midwives caring for them during this exciting and challenging time of their lives, and we know this improves outcomes for overall satisfaction for families. Our reputation for compassionate, high-quality care was further strengthened with our ongoing participation in Victoria's public fertility care program. Across surgical and endoscopy services, significant improvements were made to enhance the efficiency and safety. This included our collaborative partnership with St Vincent's that has notably cut endoscopy wait times. Our enhanced recovery after surgery program has improved the overall experience for patients undergoing surgery and allowed us to provide care for even more members of the community. In oncology, more than 100 breast cancer patients have benefited from the introduction of Scout technology, an innovative and much less invasive method of tumour localisation. Our Diabetes Foot Service was nationally recognised in February 2025 as a Centre of Excellence by the National Association of Diabetes Centres, one of only 18 services in Australia to earn this title. Finding ways to improve clinical safety was at the forefront in 2024-25, as it is every single day of every single year at Western Health. Highlights include a 50% reduction in cannula-related infection events. Digital innovation remained a cornerstone of our safety and quality strategy, and the deployment of the electronic medical record system across our Bacchus Marsh, Melton and Caroline Springs sites was a major milestone. Well, that is just a small sample of the many highlights from 2024-25. As we know, incredible work is being done day in, day out by more than 14,000 staff across Western Health. And I know Russell will be speaking later about how we're supporting our staff and our workforce more broadly, and I look forward to that. In terms of our financial position, Western Health's comprehensive result for the 2024-25 financial year was a deficit of $117.8 million. Western Health's operating result before capital movements was a $3.8 million surplus. I'd like to end with a message of sincere thanks. Thank you to our hardworking staff, our volunteers, our consumer advisory groups, our board directors, and all the team for all that you do. Thank you to our many stakeholders, including primary healthcare, community health, our academic partners, local government, and our local members of Parliament at both the state and federal levels. Thank you specifically to the Department of Health and the Victorian Government for their commitment to Melbourne's West and to meeting the healthcare needs of our growing population. And finally, thanks to our donors who are so generous in providing financial support through the Western Health Foundation. Your kind donations are greatly appreciated and make a tangible difference to our ability to provide the best care. In accordance with Part 7 of the Financial Management Act 1994, I'm pleased to submit the Report of Operations and the financial statements for the year ending 30 June 2025. A full copy of our 2024-25 annual report is available on the Western Health website. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. It's great to hear your reflections on what has been yet another big year for Western Health as we continue to strive to provide best care for our patients and communities. Our second finalist for the Board Chair's Medal is Dr. Jennifer Ewell, who is a hospital medical officer, also known as an HMO. Jennifer was nominated while on rotation at Ward 2 East Urology at Footscray Hospital, and she is currently in the surgical stream. Jennifer is an inspiring and dedicated leader who cultivates a positive and inclusive and supportive work environment. She leads with compassion, accountability, and excellence, ensuring junior staff feel welcomed, mentored, and empowered to grow in their roles. Her commitment to patient-centered care is evident in the time she dedicates to listening, advocating, and coordinating complex care plans. Colleagues commend her leadership, professionalism, and ability to foster collaboration across departments, making her a valued mentor and role model. Jennifer's unwavering dedication to both staff and patients has created a workplace culture built on respect, teamwork, and continuous learning. Fantastic, Jennifer. Your nomination is very well deserved. I would now like to introduce our CEO, Professor Russell Harrison, to share his insights into the year ahead for Western Health. Russell will then have a short Q&A session with one of Western Health's fantastic consumer advisors and co-chair of our Community Advisory Committee, Shefton Parker. Over to you, Russell.
I too would like to acknowledge our traditional custodians and also our other cultural leaders across the West. As the CEO, it's my privilege and of course a pleasure to provide an update to the community at our AGM of all the great work we're doing. This year is a special year as together we're about to hit an incredibly exciting milestone. Today, Jill and I are presenting from what is known as the original Footscray Hospital boardroom. We're using the word original rather than old, but that's because we're getting ready to move into our very, very new, incredibly fabulous new Footscray Hospital in February. It has been an incredible 1,719 days since we turned the first sod on the new Footscray Hospital site, just a few kilometres from here. A huge amount of work has gone into the magnificent hospital buildings that now stand on that site on the corner of Ballarat Road and Geelong Road. They look incredibly impressive, and I know many of you will have seen that on the TV coverage from the Melbourne Cup. As we approach the patient go live, there is an extraordinary amount of activity that is now happening on site as we prepare for this core relocation. To give you just some insights of what this includes, I'll go in the following. Operation Clean Sweep. This is what we're calling our hospital-wide spring clean of the current site, or the original site as we now call it, because everything needs to be done just like you do before you move house. We've got more than 3,000 items of clinical and operational equipment that are being prepared for relocation from our current site to the new. Then, the most important part of all, our patient transfer. We're planning to move around 180 patients on our move day in February. Hopefully a few less, but we're doing a lot of significant planning that is meticulous to make sure all of these patients are supported, and of course our thousands of staff are ready to go as we kind of near the final stages of go live. More than 4,500 staff members are currently undertaking training tailored to how they will work in the new hospital with its advanced features, new technologies, and just sheer scale and size. Another 200 specialist staff are undertaking what we're calling clinical simulation exercises to test the critical care processes across our new hospital setting. On top of this, hundreds of storerooms and patient care spaces, from consulting rooms to intensive care areas to resus cubicles and ED and everything in between, are being stocked and prepared so that when we welcome our patients and consumers, our staff know where everything is and it's to hand. My sincere thanks to our incredible staff and volunteers. I'd also like to thank our key partners, including the Victorian Health Building Authority, now known as Vida Health, Plenary, and of course the Government and Department of Health, for all of your continued support, collaboration and enthusiasm as we near this really exciting transition point. I'd also like to say thank you to our colleagues at Alfred and Monash Shared Pathology Service, who are working with us to create a public pathology service for our hospitals. In amongst all this, I would like to give a special shout out to our colleagues from Dorovich and ACL, who have worked with us for a number of years providing essential pathology services to our community, our staff and our patients. Thank you for that great partnership. While a lot of attention is on new Footscray Hospital, of course it's an incredible facility, it is just one of a number of major capital works and projects that are currently underway at Western Health. The first of these other projects is Melton Hospital. This includes a brand new hospital which is on track to be delivered in 2029. I'm pleased to say that Exemplar Health, who are the consortium who are developing this at Cobblebank, are making great progress. This site is getting busier every day with our construction activities increasing, and fantastic progress has been made on excavations and piling works. As we near the end of the year, the first of 6 tower cranes has already arrived on site. Earlier in the year, we engaged with our Western Health staff, our volunteers, and our consumers to name one of these cranes, and we're looking forward to sharing the name both internally and externally in the new year. We want to build even more excitement around this incredible project in Melbourne's West. In recent months, early works have also begun on the site of the new Point Cook Community Hospital. Once complete, this public hospital will allow a range of important and everyday health services to be provided, including chemotherapy, dialysis, public dentistry and outpatients. We have also completed recent upgrades and expansion at the Sunbury Community Hospital, which has included a refurbished day medical unit to provide oncology and dialysis services. And in August this year, excitingly, we opened up our new medical imaging service, giving residents of Sunbury and the surrounding areas access to X-rays and CT scans closer to home with ultrasound to follow. And if that's not enough, work is also underway on a $6 million refurbishment of our Harvester Community Mental Health and Wellbeing Clinic in Sunshine, making another milestone in our ongoing investment in mental health services across the West. And finally, a significant upgrade is occurring at Grant Lodge, our residential aged care facility in Bacchus Marsh. Once completed, the refurbishment works will enhance this facility and give an incredible environment for our residents and staff, improving both privacy, dignity and safety for all. Now that I've covered this incredible amount of bricks and mortar, I do feel quite guilty because Western is getting a lion's share of state build, I'd like to focus on something even more important: our staff and our patients and our services. As is the case every year, our goals for the immediate future are guided by the Statement of Priorities and our Statement of Expectations, both of which are our commitments to government on what we will deliver. Like every public health service, these agreements facilitate the delivery of or progress towards government's commitments for the financial year that we are in. We are also guided by Western Health's own strategic directions, as Jill referred to these earlier, and our values. Supporting our staff is our key to living up to both of these values and delivering on our targets. We have a range of programs designed to support our workforce, which I know and you do is Western Health's greatest asset. Through our nursing midwifery workforce plan, to give just one example, we've achieved industry-leading outcomes, including a turnover rate of just 1.96%. In 2025, all graduate nursing and midwifery programs achieved a 100% match, with an incredible 1/3 of all of Victoria's graduating nurse and midwives applying to join Western Health. Learning and development for our staff, as well as workplace wellbeing, will continue to be one of our top priorities, both for me, the board, and of course our leadership team. The Western Health Academy is expanding in its training footprint. We are thrilled to be investing in a range of development opportunities and programs such as our Lead Well, Emerging Leaders, and Director Level Pathway programs. At Western, we are deeply committed to creating a positive, safe and supportive workplace culture that empowers our people and reflects our values. We are really keen to ensure that we continue to retain our excellent staff as well as attracting new ones. Key initiatives include our various occupational violence and aggression initiatives, the launch of our peer support program on Are You OK Day, and our Empower issue resolution process. Through our continued partnership with our Employee Assistance Program, or EAP as it's known, we've also enhanced the reach of our oxygen mask program, which promotes self-care, stress management and mental health awareness. I am very pleased to share that our People Matter survey results reflect a positive cultural shift with improvements in nearly all of our key indicators. To borrow from one of Jill's earlier comments, there's only so much that we can pack into an AGM. In talking about the future of Western Health, I would like to pick one of our most exciting growth areas I think that we're doing. And of course, whilst we're building a huge number of new facilities, as I've mentioned earlier, we're also doing care outside the walls of Western Health. The Western Health at Home division provides comprehensive integrated care delivered in the community, in a patient's own home, in residential aged care facilities, in supported accommodation and custodial settings. As that might imagine, it covers an incredibly broad range of areas and services, from hospital in the home to allied health at home, rehabilitation services, dialysis at home, older people's care in the home, right through to our fantastic custodial health team, providing services in Dame Phyllis Frost. It covers a wide range of clinical specialties across medical, nursing and allied health. They all have a simple goal: to help our patients live more healthy days at home. This is by supporting early and sustainable hospital discharges and also reducing the need for people to be admitted or readmitted to our hospitals. And if I give you one measure for how this service stacks up, the number of virtual beds that we're now providing is roughly the same size as the inpatient beds in the current Footscray Hospital site, around 280. Western Health at Home really is a great example of Western Health Way. Our staff constantly innovating to find better ways of providing our best care to our community. And of course, that is going to continue across 25, 26 and beyond as Western Health continues to grow and change and adapt. Like my board chair, I'd like to thank our partners across education, our donors, the Department of Health, our local members of Parliament, the Victorian and federal government for all of your continued support and collaboration. This incredible work led to Western Health this year being named as a finalist in the category of Premier's Large Health Service of the Year in the Victorian Public Health Awards. I am so proud of all the work that you have done, and whilst we didn't win, I think we're all winners for that excellence and dedication that you show day in, day out. I am clearly incredibly biased, but I hope that you will agree with me that there is so much to look forward to into the future for Western Health, our staff, our volunteers, our patients and our community. Thank you all. At Western Health, consumer input is absolutely core to what we do. And in fact, it's one of the key pieces of feedback that our board consider as the first item on its agenda at every meeting. Today, I'm thrilled to be able to say that we've got Shefton Parker, who's our co-chair of our Community Advisory Committee, with us today to really tell us about what's involved in being a consumer rep at Western Health. So Shefton, I guess the first question is pretty obvious. What is involved in being a consumer rep at Western Health?
Yeah, wow. It's come a long way, Russ. I mean, yeah, consumers are almost involved in everything at Western Health these days. From care planning to meals to signage around the hospital. They're really now integrated in all facets of what Western Health does. And I think that's a real benefit for Western Health. It helps consumers better understand what Western Health does and why it does it, and for Western Health to understand what consumers in our communities really need.
And how they bring that sort of voice into the hospital and influence things. So give us an example of something that the consumers have helped influence in your kind of experience, because I'm sure there's lots of them, but just pick one.
Yeah, I mean, well, they influence training, they support clinical staff and administrative staff how to better communicate with communities to ensure that people feel welcome and feel that sense of belonging when they step onto those Western Health campus.
And I know recently we've had our Vietnamese community come in and teach our staff how to cook congee.
Yeah, wow.
So have you heard about that, and were you involved in that one?
I have heard about it. I wasn't involved in it.
You missed a great taste test.
Yeah, I would love to taste that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I'm not a congee cooker, but yeah, I definitely like to eat some. Again, I think it's just a great example of sort of the barriers between Western Health and community coming down. You know,
which is really important.
It is.
And how do you, I mean, you mentioned staff, consumers are involved in the training of staff, and you've been involved with us for a long time now, which is great, so thank you for that, and your colleagues as well, and the consumers. But how have you seen that change in that sort of consumer-staff relationship, let's call it? Is it for the better, is it sort of still evolving? What's your take on that?
Definitely for the better, and still evolving, which is great as well. Look, I look back, it's almost a decade I've been engaging with Western Health now, so I've seen a lot of change over that time.
Wow, a decade, that's gone fast.
It does go quick.
That makes me feel old, Jeff, because I remember signing you on.
Yeah, I still remember when you came in. But yeah, I think it's that leadership, leadership like yourself, leadership like others across the executive team who really understand and value the importance of that community engagement, and really just ensuring that everybody has a sense of place and belonging at Western Health.
That's great. And in terms of those, evolving relationships, we've had a long relationship now, but I know we've got new consumers joining us. We've got a sort of whole range of consumers from the many communities of the West. So give us a bit of a flavour of age ranges, and as you say, you mentioned what they can be involved in, but are there ages where you do certain things to different, or is it just open season?
I really think Western Health's developed a bit of a pipeline now with its youth advisory group, the YAG. It's got the young ones coming through who are engaging earlier. You know, they're still at high school, and you're seeing some of them now engage in Western Health and really understand what healthcare means for kids in the West. And then you go through into the older age groups as well. There's dementia studies going on where there's community involved in those. So it really is all spectrums of the age and even cultures now at Western Health.
And it feels like we're still developing that. Obviously there's a very vibrant consumer group, but it feels like it's still growing, and there's new communities coming to the West all the time. And are we representing all of those communities yet, or have we still got a bit of a way to go, do you think?
Yeah, I think we've got a pretty good representation. Okay, it wouldn't necessarily be the depth in all those communities. It might be only 2 or 3 with some communities.
But you've got to start somewhere.
That's right, And I think the partnership team at Western Health have done a really good job building that core group of consumers that have helped to bring other consumers into the fold and share that learning and understanding to help retain them and keep them, and really just make it easier for them to engage.
It's probably fair to say it wasn't that long ago we didn't have much diversity in our consumer advisory panel. It feels like that's a very different space now.
Yeah, I think that was a system challenge. When a lot of what Western Health is doing on a day-to-day involves meetings 9 to 5. A lot of the consumers available to participate in that would tended to be older consumers, maybe those that were retired and had the time and the resources to contribute. But I think the system has really adapted since you've joined, and I guess
I claim no credit for that. I'm going to say it's all back in the team, but
I'd say it's a combination. I don't think
very
they could
kind
do it
of
without your support, and I'm sure you couldn't do it without their expertise.
No, absolutely not.
But those system adaptations have
Yeah.
really enabled consumers from all different cultures, from all different backgrounds and ages to engage with Western Health. And I think, that's something Western Health should be really proud of. They're willing to shift those systems.
Which is great.
Yeah, to really...
So I've got two big questions left, Shefton, for you. Okay, so one, I can't not mention it because, New Footscray Hospital, New Melton Hospital, even Point Cook Hospital. Now, so what's the sense amongst consumers about this ginormous capital build program? But I'm sure many of you have seen the new hospital. What's the sort of vibe amongst consumers in terms of the facilities?
I think there's a lot of excitement. I think, the West has felt like they've deserved this type of investment for a long time, and now it's starting to flow through.
Yeah.
So, it really just opens up more opportunities for for the walls to come down between Western Health and community, and the Western Health, I think, that new hospital in particular, is a good example of that. It really shows that transition between community and hospital. Are we on hospital or are we just part of the community?
Well, it's an incredible building. And what would you say to our audience or the people that are watching it later around how do you get involved? Why should you get involved as being a consumer rep at Western Health?
Yeah, well, I think the first step's connecting with Western Health's partnership team.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got all the resources that you'll need to learn about what's involved and how you get involved. There's always opportunities. There's lots of different opportunities. So it's finding the right opportunity for you. Everybody's experience at Western Health is going to be slightly different. Where you come from is different.
So thanks again, Shefton. Really appreciate your time today. Thanks for being our co-chair of the Community Advisory Committee and for giving us so much time and support over your time with Western Health, but encouraging more of our community to get involved and, as you say, bring that bridge together. So appreciate your time. Thanks all. And if you want to join, then please use the email that you'll see on the screen shortly to hit up the team. So thanks all.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Russell and Shefton. There's so much to look forward to next year, particularly the opening of the new world-class Footscray Hospital in February 2026. And as we've just heard, we know that all of our efforts across the health service are improved with the input of our consumers, just like Shefton. So thank you to you both. Now for our third finalist for the Board Chair's Medal, clinical pharmacist Joseph Hewen. Joseph is an exceptional pharmacist who consistently demonstrates professionalism, compassion, and a strong commitment to patient care and medication safety. He fosters a collaborative environment through effective communication with nursing staff, allied health professionals, and patients, ensuring smooth transition of care and safe discharges. Highly approachable and supportive, Joseph is a trusted resource for complex issues, valued for his responsiveness, efficiency, and deep knowledge. He prioritizes safety, especially with controlled substances, and counsels patients with care. His ability to multitask while maintaining high standards, along with his uplifting presence, has earned the respect and appreciation of colleagues and patients alike. Congratulations, Joseph, and thank you for all the important work you do at Western Health. It's now my pleasure to welcome our Board Chair, Professor the Honourable Jill Hennessy, back to today's presentation to announce the winner of the Board Chair's Medal. Over to you, Jill.
And now to the big announcement of the day, the winner of the Board Chair Medal. It was extremely difficult to decide the winner out of three very worthy finalists. However, I'm really proud to announce that the winner of the 2025 Board Chair Medal is Dr. Claire Long. Congratulations, Claire. You're an extremely worthy winner of the Board Chair Medal, and we're all very excited to celebrate your fantastic contribution to Western Health. You are a very distinguished healthcare provider. We're so lucky to have you here at Western Health. Tell us a little bit about what brought you to Western Health and what has kept you here.
Well, I remember as a medical student travelling around a few different places and Western really feeling the most like home to me. So it was an obvious decision to come here as an intern and continue my training, and I was very well supported here. There is a lovely warmth and a relaxed nature to Western Health, which I really love, and I've subsequently been to work at other places where I it doesn't quite feel like that.
Culture's everything, isn't it?
Culture is everything, and that's why I stay here.
Yeah.
And the longer you stay, the more people you get to know, and then it feels even more like home.
Fantastic. So you're a geriatrician by
I
trade.
am.
What drew you to that form of medicine?
Well, geriatrics offers you the ability to do a little bit of everything in medicine, but with a really good amount of perspective and pragmatism, and really listening hard to patients and helping their families navigate what is a really difficult time. Yes. And I enjoy those sort of conversations and helping people who often need a bit more advocacy. Yes. They're a very vulnerable group of people. Yes. Who often have fantastic humour. Yes. And you can learn a lot from them.
And half the time it's about listening and understanding the reality of people's lives.
Absolutely.
We talk a lot about patient-centred care. How do you practice good patient-centred care?
Well, by listening, mainly, priority. Listening a lot, and then working out what you can offer them that is going to best achieve the outcomes they want, which might be different to yours, but listening and respecting their decisions. And a lot of that might be about what not to do, or offering someone a good death.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and so listening to them and helping families, and lots of good communication.
Yeah, fantastic. So health services are very busy, and Western is an incredibly busy place to work. How do you keep up the quality and the energy when you're working in such a busy place? And what advice would you have for your other colleagues that, you know, are also kind of confronting the challenges of demand, but also wanting to do, you know, deliver world-class healthcare?
Yeah, I think that is the biggest challenge at the moment, is delivering the very best high-end care that you have, but appreciating that we have finite time and finite resources, and how to distribute what we have equitably. So I think it's about strategic planning, prioritising, and always working with a team of people you know and you trust and you can rely on. And then when you've been somewhere for as long as I have, and you know many people, it's as much about who you know as what you know. So you just gather as much information you can, and then work out what is the priority for the day, and work on just a few things. Otherwise it can be quite overwhelming, as you imagine. Yeah,
absolutely. So what are you looking forward to? Like, when you think about the future of Western Health, what do you kind of put on your, oh, I can't wait for this?
Well, I can't wait for that new Footscray Hospital that we can see out the window.
We're all really itching for that new hospital.
Yeah. And then a new Melton Hospital. It's not, there's not too many times you get to be involved in building of new hospitals. So that's really exciting. But overall, I think I'm really excited about seeing where public health goes over the next few decades, because it's not going to get easier, and we're going to have to be a bit innovative. And I was just really excited about being part of that conversation. Fantastic. And being able to, the opportunities to navigate people through that. Fantastic. I think it's really exciting.
Fantastic. You wouldn't want to be anywhere else other than at Western Health. No. You've heard it here first. Now, we've got something gorgeous for you to hang up in your office to remind yourself.
If anyone knows, I have a lot of plants.
A lot of plants in the office. No, it's got some plant-based materials in it, but we have some. We have a wonderful certificate here for you.
Thank you.
In recognition of how distinguished you are, how beloved you are from your peers. And I think right across the western suburbs that we've got people like Claire delivering healthcare. We're so lucky to have you. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. It's delighted. It's an honour. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Congratulations to our outstanding 2025 Board Chair Medal finalists, and especially to our very worthy winner, Dr. Claire Long. And thank you, Jill, Russell and Shefton, for your insights today. I'd like to finish by thanking Western Health's amazing staff and volunteers for yet another extraordinary year. And thank you to our community. We at Western Health are so proud to provide our services across Melbourne's West, and we thank you for your continued support and for your trust. Thank you all for tuning in to our virtual AGM today, and we look forward to seeing you again next year.